The FBI records, they have real examples of this happening. Like, for example, there was an incident back in 2019 involving Holmes Foods, which is the largest privately owned chicken producer in Texas. And there, Holmes Foods reportedly tipped off the FBI that activists from the group Meet the Victims had broken into a poultry boiler that the company bought chickens from. The records show that Holmes Foods simply asked the FBI's Dallas outpost for guidance on preparing for future incidents. But in response, the office's local WMD coordinator had a phone call with the producer and other FBI agents. And despite the fact that the company's executives told the FBI that, quote, no damage or product loss was immediately identified, Dallas's WMD program, they still recorded the event as part of its intelligence gathering on animal rights environmental extremism, which the FBI classifies as a form of domestic terrorism. And that's not the only example that came out of the FBI's WMD outpost in Dallas. The next year, the Meat Institute, which is the biggest trade association for poultry and livestock industries in America, they reportedly invited an FBI agent for Dallas's WMD program to its 2020 Animal Care and Handling Conference to, quote, provide insight into agro-terrorism and federal law enforcement's approach to protecting the United States meat industry. And there you had The Intercept saying that the agent presented a slideshow called Agro-Terrorism in the Meat Livestock Industry, with that presentation reportedly detailing what it called the emerging WMD and domestic terrorism threats posed by animal rights activist groups that often break minor criminal laws like trespassing. But the records show that during the presentation, the agent warned, quote, minor criminal actions associated with animal rights activist extremism have a tendency to escalate towards substantial direct actions, to include the unintentional introduction of biological materials, toxic chemicals, or other hazards into a herd and or flock. With the agent then also reportedly encouraging meat industry groups to report this type of behavior to its WMD directive or joint terrorism task forces, with them then going on to provide a glimpse into the various legal strategies the agency has been looking into, including charging activists under 3 different federal criminal statutes concerning WMDs. And after that, the agent reportedly noted that the Meet the Victims activists in Texas, they were charged with misdemeanor criminal trespass, but also emphasizing the potential domestic terrorism and WMD food sector connections. And so with that, you had The Intercept claiming that move suggests that this is the type of activism the Bureau might target with criminal charges. But like animal rights lawyers and other advocates, some activists themselves also argue that this is just a frivolous attempt to blame them and justify extreme crackdowns. With, for example, one member of Meet the Victims who was arrested on misdemeanor trespassing charges in the Holmes Foods break-in saying that the poultry farm didn't even lock its gate or barn door, so, quote, they're obviously not too concerned about biohazards, with them then even arguing that the most serious biorisk would have remained hidden without the activist intervention, explaining there, nobody is coming in there and cleaning up the dead chicken bodies. If there's disease, disease is just going to spread rampant. But also, with everything we're talking about here, the FBI's efforts went beyond Texas, where the agency also tried to paint animal rights activists as biosecurity and infectious disease threats in another incident in San Francisco back in 2019.